Oseo.
Oseo.
It's a Cherokee greeting, and wave the great feather for the good of it. Tomorrow it's Memorial Day. Today's Sunday, tomorrow's Memorial Day. It's a day where the United States is honoring service members who have died in wartime service. And on the eve of that Memorial Day, I'm doing a different memorial. I'm calling it the Apache Memorial and Thunderbird here. And I'm going to say some things about the Apache, but I do want you to know that I'm featuring this man here. I'm going to start right off with his name. This is Mangas Colorados. He was the Membres Apache here, like that. And you can come back here a little bit. The name Apache is just the way everybody has said it. It's a little bit of a misnomer. The name Apache has been, has coloring and usage that I would say I would like to see rectified. The better pronunciation would be Apache or Apache. It simply means people, the same way that the Navajo have Diné, meaning people. And Navajo has been far more successful in having people use Diné, in a right way. Whereas this Apache really has other suggestions to it. And on the TV, Grip TV, constantly they are showing these kind of Hollywood movies where they're featuring men wearing wigs and headbands as savage Apaches. And so that's how it keeps going and so forth. I've had kind of a lifetime acquaintance, My grandmother was Cherokee. And at the time she was living in Florida. Now, by that time, all of these people, mainly the Chiricahua Apaches, were shipped to Florida to be imprisoned there, including Geronimo, like that. And somehow she became acquainted with Chacho. Chacho was the only son of Geronimo who survived. And she had, I think maybe I was in high school or somewhere around there, sent me a photo of him that she had with him for a long time. I think they were both about the same age. My grandmother passed away, I think, sometime in the 70s, and my mother has said she thought she was about 100 years old, so I think Chacho and my grandmother must have been close to the same age here. So that's kind of given me an association in that way. And it can go all the way over here to what I have over there. The last time I was in Arizona at the Herd Museum, I bought this piece here. This is what I call a kind of poster or advertising for a exhibit that you see illustrated there. And the exhibit was sometime before I was there on this time here. And the only person that I actually can recognize is this man here, Nana. I remember that he was a storyteller. And up here, this is Edward Curtis, a photograph that is featuring portrait-wise Geronimo. When I point out to it, you see that he's wearing a turban. And that introduces, this aspect of it. You kind of stay there. I had seen a quote by Geronimo. The name Geronimo is an American way of saying it. Mexicans had given him that name, Geronimo, after Saint Jerome, Hieronymus, like that. Basically, the name itself means holy name. And so that's the way people have come to know him. His name is Gothore, actually, there. So I've seen this quote by him. I have a bilingual interview with him, of him that somebody had through an interpreter. And the quote was, I can't believe we are as worthless as they say or why would God have brought us here? Well, when I looked at the actual language he was speaking, I recognized in the place of the word God, it's actually Yusin. Recognized to me right away from my studies that Yusin is a Turkic name for the life giver or the creator deity. So these people had come over here not too long ago, apparently after the Navajos. These people and the Navajos also are speaking a Turkic language. Very recently reported in Indian Country Today, a Navajo woman in the company of other Native Americans went to the country of Turkey to get up some commercial business, and she reported that she could understand people speaking Turkish. She probably doesn't know why, but these people's predecessors have definitely come from that part of the world through all the, Turkestan, Uzbekistan, in Afghanistan, even in Iran. These people are scattered through there. So these people that came over here on Chinese ship, probably in the 15th century, pretty much seem to have arranged themselves in different groups or bands similar to what they may have been over there in that part of the world here. And so that's very interesting that these people are a Turkic people. In this country, the language that's being called Athabascan, which is including Navajo and Apache and several others, it appears to me that Athabascan is synonymous with Turkic. Turkic is widespread and has different dialects and different families. So I can say that much about it for sure here. And even they couldn't have been here for very long because they still, these people, the Apaches that we're calling them, still dressed in the way that they had come from that country. In recent news that we've all seen in Afghanistan, you do see people that are dressed in the same way as Apaches, in the 1850s to 1900, like that. Apaches were always clothed. They were never seen, without clothes. And they also had a particular style of boots that are definitely Persian boots with curled up toes here, and so forth. And they strictly maintained that kind of dress throughout their contact, with the incoming American Europeans here. So we have all of that. Now, Yusin is the creator deity that is consistently referred to with these people. And I want to, on that picture, go back down there right to the center picture. There's a picture of a woman. It just says, that's an Apache woman. For what I'm telling you here, this is Lozin. This is Lozin. She's the sister of Victorio. And she is a great or powerful medicine woman at the time here. And this is a way of illustrating what I'm saying. Her chant, in other words, she did a chant, and this chant has been translated into English, and I'm giving you the English words of the chant in order to illustrate the life giver Yusin. Overall, in this world, Yusin has power. Sometimes he shares it with us of this earth. This power he gives to me for the benefit of my people. This power is good. It is good as he is good. This power I may use for the good of my people. And it's described that as she would chant this, she would spread her arms out like an eagle with the palms turned up and turn around and around in this way. Um, so that gives us an introduction there. And all of that come down to the bottom. I have a basket. And this is a very old Apache basket that I got from somebody who found it in a cave in southern Arizona. And it's made with willow, and it's got to be somewhere more than 100, way more than 100 years old. And in it I've chalked out the outlines. It has woven into it what we call the Apache star, four-pointed star. I had a decal that I got somewhere in Arizona that I had on the top of the windshield of my truck that had the Apache star in it. So this gives some acquaintance here. Oh, and the weaving below it. This is an old Navajo weaving that Vivian found for me. What we usually call a swastika in Navajo. This is a tona. This is a symbol for thunder, and I just put it here to go nicely with this antique basket, for which I respect that very much. And I can come up here now to this portrait. This is called Yowokiksue Ito Wapi. This is a memorial portrait of Mangus, Colorado here. So that I inherited this and that I have this, to me, is a great, great honor. So while we're focused on that, we can say something about him. He was murdered by American soldiers, and Hieronymo, in his biography, is quoted as saying, "The murder of Mangus, Colorado was perhaps the greatest wrong ever done to the Indians." He was a medicine man, and his name was Mangus, given to him by the Mexicans. What his own name was, they keep secret like that. His name, means red sleeves. In Spanish, it's the way he said, because he wore a red shirt. And it's very interesting. We did a little research on it, how he would have gotten red to dye a shirt red. And so we looked up in Afghanistan what plant would be available to dye red cloth, rose madder, basically rosio. And could he have found that here in this country where he could dye his shirt red? Because evidently it had an identity to who he was. Of the several bands, we're trying to call them that way, of these people that we're calling Apache, like that, he's the Membreno band. So there's several different bands, and the artist here, has painted his turban red. You're going to see why that had happened. He was the very tallest of the Membreno people. He was 6'6", and his vision was as great as his height. And he tried to bring the different Chiricahua bands together, trying to unify his own Chine with the Warm Springs people and the Nednai of the Geronimo group. And he tried again and again to get together with the new invaders from America and Europe like that. And so he had some real bad experiences here. And this is all around the 1850s, all the way up until somewhere in the 1860s. By this time, he's well into his 70s. And on this occasion, he had walked into the fort and to negotiate, talk peace like that. But the general ordered his soldiers to accost him. They tortured him and they murdered him and they beheaded him. Here. And then here's a little insert. Army officers all had standing orders to behead any Indian leaders that they could, you know. And so in this case, that's what they did. They beheaded him, and these heads were sent back to the Smithsonian Institute there. And somewhere in the 70s, seems like 1973, maybe it was President Bush, had something to do with the Repatriations Act of returning things back to Native Americans, including bodies and heads. And so that's the occasion here for this portrait. His portrait here, the artist has, you know, cleverly, you know, brought his hair down over his neck here, and instead of having a red shirt, you know, he painted his turban, turban's the right name for it, his turban red like that. And here's the, you know, white water bird for his spirit. And I did know exactly where he was interred. There was a family plot where his body was in New Mexico. There's a special place. And so then they could return his head back, because he could not, you know, be complete to go on in the afterlife until his head and his body were brought, you know, back together here. So I'm extremely honored to have this memorial portrait of Mangus Colorados, and what I can tell you about that and my experience with the Apache here. Now with that, we're going to segue here. We can go all the way up to the top. This, oh wait. I gotta do one more thing. I just remembered. Here, you can stay on his portrait. I also had learned the song Geronimo. He was living in Florida. He wasn't locked up or anything at this time, and he seemed like he was riding a horse, and he had been drinking, and he fell off, and he fell into water, and he got pneumonia. It's the way I heard it. He got pneumonia. So then he was dying, and so he knew he was going to be leaving, and he left this song, you know. Awahale, awahale, through the air I fly, upon a cloud, toward the sky. Far, 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 awahale, awahale, there to the holy place. Awahale. Ah, now the change comes over me. Awahale, awahale. Thank you, Geronimo. Now we're going on to the Thunderbird here. So I've put a lot of things around here to go with this piece, and we'll see if I can coordinate with my reading and the camera. We'll try to do something like that. So starting up there, we have, you know, Wakinyan. Wakinyan means Thunderbird. Wahosiahi, he who brings a message. And this is the message. Here, eagle. Eagle passed by. The sea passed by. Behind it, the spirits passed by. Like feathers, the spirits trailed behind the sea. From where the spirits came, the placenta, over here, the placenta spewed forth. Spirits were born here. From the placenta, spirits were flowing like clouds. With the clouds, the sacred place appeared, and the buffalo appeared in it. Then the buffalo became cloud. Here the spirits saw it and knew it. Next, it was the face and horns of the buffalo. He had changed into clouds and was raining. Next, the bed of grass appeared. And this was now called Yawini Wi Changa. Here we're here, lady sweetgrass. This is the lady sweetgrass. The braided tall grass is the very earliest symbol for the feminine. Also, it's also is called the key to the granary in some societies. But here she is. So you can see all of that. This is all braided sweetgrass. And down here I have another lady sweetgrass here holding the buffalo symbol here. And it's sweetgrass around her feet. So now the sweetgrass was born, and from it burst a yellow tassel. The spirits came near, loosening the tassel. They became yellow rays and declared that the sweetgrass will be the buffalo's cradle. That's what I'm thinking here. And now the blue buffalo calf maiden appears. And in the 5 regions of Turtle Island, the blue buffalo are now appearing. So here's blue buffalo here. And then over here is a blue buffalo. This whole piece has been made for the animal fur, and it had been tinted blue here. So that's really marvelous here. So I believe that everything I have put in there. Yes. Is there anything I missed? This one? This is the blue buffalo calf maiden. That's what I'll be picking here. Yes. And so you come back here. And so this is my piece on the eve of Memorial Day that I've called, Apache Memorial and Thunderbird here. And so we really need all of these spirits and these people to be with us in these perhaps trying times. So that's my fulfillment here today. Yes? Thank you.